Hello, everybody. I'm just getting stuff set up a little bit here. I think that's looking pretty good. Hope that you guys are all doing well. Thank you, Champ, for the lurk. I know I'm getting a little bit of a late start. We're having some plumbing issues upstairs, so I may have to jump off at some point and put you guys on coming soon. Let me see. Does that work better? Or worse. Um, but let's see.
Sir?
Yep.
Hey, I gotta run out to the store. I'm gonna see if I can get a rebuild kit because I broke the handle off on the
Okay.
cold side. So I'll
Cool.
be back.
All right, sounds good.
Yep.
All right. Let me just see. All right, I think that's looking pretty good right there. I think we can see almost everything. I'm just making sure that I'm not having anything cut off too much that you guys need. I think it's pretty good. I'm going to do a test real quickly of our full screen to see how that's looking. All right, that's looking pretty good too. All right, so for people who don't know, I have a scuba channel, and it's called Gross Scuba. And it's youtube.com/ at symbol Gross Scuba, or you can search for Gross Scuba. My name is Robbie Gross. People didn't know because I go by Robbie G online often. So I've been working on this scuba documentary, and I've been taking my time with it this year. I know I usually try to rush through it once I get the footage. And one of our favorite dive locations over the years is the USS Kittiwake. And in fact, of the videos that I have produced in the past, a lot of the most popular videos have been of this dive site. It's a really cool shipwreck. It's sort of turned on its side. We've gone through it. This is our third trip there. And so I will be creating a playlist that will include all three videos when this one is done. And that playlist will live on Gross Scuba as well. We do a locations over time playlist. And in those playlists, you can see different ones. And so there's been a couple of those that we've created. And it's kind of cool to see. We've started diving in Grand Cayman in 2018. And we've been able to document these sites over time. And so this is one of the ones we've been able to document 3 different times as well. This dive site right here is going to be it's kind of going to be told in 4 parts. Originally, I wanted it to be like a 10 to 12 minute video. It ended up being about a 15-minute video. We're going to take a quick look at it in full right now and sort of play it and talk about it. If anybody has any questions or thoughts or that they want to share with us, they can feel free to share those. I'm going to pull up chat on the side over here so I can see any comments that people may have for that as well. We'll go from there. I'm really excited about where this video is going. I think I did a lot of work on it already to get it to this place. And we're just going to do our sort of tweaks today, and I'll add some titles and other aspects of it as well. Because we always have title cards, and we name our music. Again, the music is done by Dan Tremblay, who's a Twitch musician as well, and he does cinematic compositions. I've been working with him now for the last couple of years doing documentary films, and we're actually featuring 3 different albums in this thing. So the Aurora album, we are choosing one song from each. It's 10 tracks in the album. We're choosing one song for each part of this 10-part documentary. And so that's kind of telling the story of all the different dives through the songs. And then I create a reel using each song as well. Sort of a shortened version, like a 1 to 2 minute one that then lives on Instagram. We also do shorts that exist on Gross Scuba as well. And some of the shorts are natural sounds, and some use some of Dan's music as well. So we always use the one song from there, but then we also, since this is longer than that one track, we've been using songs from the album Dark Water Pulse, which is a little bit of a darker, moodier album. So we particularly use it for deeper dives, darker dives. Did it for the night dive in addition. The night dive was my one exception where we didn't use any Aurora songs. I just used songs from Dark Water Pulse. But all the daytime dives are featuring Aurora as part of it. The first video had 2 songs because there was 2 dives in part 1 as well. So it's kind of one per every out daytime dive on this series. Then we get into this track here, which is called, what was it? The Phantom. Hold on, I just want to make sure I'm saying it right. It is Phantom Trail, and then Veil of the I think it's Veil of the Vanished. That's what it's called. Let me just make sure I'm getting this right. Yeah, so Veil of the Vanished is the next part. And then Dan just released a new album all with sort of pianos and not sort of stripped down comparatively to the other albums. And so I've been using a couple of those songs on, it was just released a little over a month ago. And so the last couple of videos I have been using some songs. I really love track 10, Bloom, and I thought it was really beautiful. And then there's this one section of this video that's 2 minutes and 50 seconds, which is one straight cut that kind of put on my artsy hat a little bit. I just thought it was so beautiful to see that 3 minutes almost uncut of our experience. It's at the end of this video. So this video not only is showcasing the wreck of the Kittiwake, but also my wife Liz, it's her 100th scuba dive. So it was a big moment for her. And we actually did a reel about that a bunch of months back in the moment on the day that we did this, it was either day of or day after. So now we can sort of see the build up and the lead up to some of those moments that you saw in those reels. So I did want it to be a little bit longer, a little moodier, a little darker. People like wrecks a lot, so I wanted to show more of it. I actually shot 45 minutes of footage. So the fact that I got it down to just under 15 minutes was an undertaking into itself. So without further ado, let's play the thing. And if you guys have any questions or thoughts or comments, you can feel free to write them in chat. I cannot see the Facebook chat live, but I can always comment on those later. But if you comment on Twitch or YouTube, the bot should relay that to me, and I can be able to answer those. So I've got no titles on here. It's kind of it's not a rough cut, but it's almost a final cut, but there's obviously some tweaks. So I may pause it at times and tweak some stuff if I see it in the moment, but I'll try to play it mostly straight through for 15 minutes here, and then we will add some titles, and then if we have some time, we will make our reel from this, which is like the best moments on vertical. So the way I shot this, if people don't know, and we'll just take a look at any of the scenes, right? So you can see here, I'm going to make it a little bit bigger for a second. You can see that it's a squish. Shoot this on a GoPro 12 in 4K, but I do it in what's called full, which is a square shot. And so what that allows me to do is if I want to grab a vertical slice later, I've got a little bit more headroom and tail room, as you can see, to pull from. But if I also want to shoot it wide, I can do that too. So instead of shooting it wide or tall, I shoot it square, and then I can grab elements from it later. And so maybe there's some things I really like tall, some things I like wide. Also gives me the ability to scale and position things over time. So if I want to move the camera up or down and show some of the stuff that's below or above, we have that opportunity as well. And I do that a lot, especially with the vertical videos, moving them horizontal. Maybe something that's out of shot, and so I move it. So it's almost like I can move the camera after the fact, if you want to look at it that way. So it is a square. Its default settings would be to a 100 if you wanted to see what the full size of it would be. As you can see, when I make it widescreen, We do lose a little bit of the resolution, but you do get more immersed in the footage, so there's an advantage to that side as well. You can shoot things in 5K. I just think that the footage takes up so much space that it's not worth it to try to manage all of that, so I do shoot it at 4K, and if you lose a little bit of quality in the post render, it's still almost 4K, and it still looks good on a 4K screen. With all that being said, let's make it full screen, and we're going to play it from the beginning, and at times I may talk about it. I'm going to turn the volume on so you can hear the audio. I use both the I'm gonna adjust this back up here. On the audio tracks, I use some of the natural sounds, but I do lower those sounds down a little bit, so that way it's not overpowering bubbles and stuff like that. And then I also have this backing tracks that I was talking about, the 4 backing tracks, that I do lower them a little bit as well. So this one's at -5, that one's at -9. I'm going to move this one down to about a -6, and then this one down to we'll do it at -4 for that one. All right, so I'm trying not to have it peak too much. I don't want the bubbles to overwhelm it too much either. So sometimes I'll cut out the natural audio, especially if I slow things down or speed it up. There are times where I do that, where I slow the footage down or speed it up. You can do that using the speed editor. So for example, this one is 50%, so it's basically half the speed and slowed down. I do shoot it at 60 frames a second, so I do have extra frames to slow stuff down and have it not lose quality as well. So with that being said, if there's no other questions, I'm going to start the shot. Oh, there was a shipwreck Pokemon, Dumleys, that was just in chat. I'm sad I missed catching that. It's very fitting since we're talking about shipwrecks. All right, with that, let's just get it started. One other just small note, it does cut off little bits of this, and so also it's a little jittery when I'm editing on a computer, streaming to another computer, and sending it out to you. The quality, once it's rendered and uploaded in 4K, is much higher. So I apologize if it's jittery at times. I'm wirelessly editing and sending high quality video through multiple devices. So just know that it is a higher quality product when it's rendered and put into its final form. just stopping for a quick second. Just want to see. So what was cool is each of these things are slowing down over time. I love this shot here. So this one right there is done at 100. So I love this shot because it almost looks like these two French angelfishes are mirroring each other, and it almost looks like they're like this front one is going in a mirror, and you see the other one behind it. It's almost like this is a mirror back here. And then I like that as you start to drift into this moment, it then slows down to 50%. And you get this really dramatic ending to this first act, right? So the first act is going through the ship. The second act is kind of going around the ship and then through a different part of it. And then the third act is kind of above the water and around the ship. You know, talking about sort of looking at the immense size of it compared to the people, and we're sort of taking a tour of the outside. And then the last act is sort of us as a family enjoying time just on top of the ship as we're about to surface. So sort of in it, around it, and then above it is kind of the story as it goes. So anyway, this is kind of the end of that first part of the story here. And then we're going into the second part right now. I love, because when you come back, you probably don't realize it's slow-mo until you see these guys move in slow-mo. And the whole thing is it's sort of this veil, this shadow, this idea of this song. I like these guys sort of coming up from below and being sort of the slow-mo feel. So I don't think there was any natural sounds before, and then we pull up the natural sounds here. So I think I want to do something where it gradually brings it in over time, so that way it's not too harsh. Let me try that. Wake up. Look. that shot. I think it's so cool that it's like at an angle, and I love all the coral growth of it. I don't know, it's such a cool shot. So that's kind of the end of Act 2. And this is the beginning of Act 3. I like this shot because you get a sense of the sheer size of this ship, the Kittiwake, comparatively to the different divers below. Right? So. There was something that wasn't lining up, so I was just trying to fix it so it didn't jump so much. Right, I think I'm going to do like a cross dissolve or something. I just think that transition is too harsh. Let that render for 1 second. Like how we had a pair of, this is the story of Liz and I as a tandem. We've dove together for 100 dives. And I like how there was a tandem of French, and now there's a tandem of gray angels. So I just kind of like that visual throughout. So this scene right here is kind of cool. So I thought it was really beautiful, the sort of the centering of this frame right here. I mean, the shot is really cool. So I actually ended up taking this thing, which is a moment of that, which is the same shot, but then just taken as a vertical swipe. Now I did some slowing down and some moving within the frame and editing and stuff like that. And so that was actually released as a short, the first short from this series on the YouTube channel. Once again, if people want to go to the YouTube channel and subscribe, I'd really appreciate that. So anyway, I really like this sign, and this is kind of was like the a way for people to look into what we're doing, and it was kind of like a teaser, if you will. So it's done pretty well right now. I think it's got like, I don't know how many views does it have. It's got a couple hundred views though. Let's see, what are we at right now? So, yeah, 463, so almost 500 views. The dive instructor that you can see in the bottom corner there, his name is Ty, and he actually taught my mother-in-law and father-in-law how to dive. So, and it was cool because we've dove with him so much that he really trusted us on this dive to spend more time in the wreck than he would usually do with most groups. These fish are called sergeant majors because they look like the stripes you would see on like a military that would denote, you know, like a sergeant. And I love the school of them that you can sort of see them as far as your eye can see. So the next shot here was actually the setup shot for a part of the video that we did to celebrate her hitting 100 dives. But I thought it was kind of fun to show the behind the scenes. So if people had seen that months ago, they're like, oh, it's this scene. So that's my dad over there, which I've featured a lot of his photography in some of the videos earlier in the series. This one I didn't include a lot of his photos, and the most recent ones I hadn't, just because I thought the videos sort of stood by themselves. But I definitely am hoping maybe in the next video to incorporate some of his photos again. I always really love his digital photography. Alright, this next shot right here I think is my favorite shot of the video. I just think it's so beautiful with the light, the bubbles, the fish, everything. So I'll just let it play out here. also that super long shot that I was talking about, where it's almost 3 minutes uncut. But it's just sort of cool to see an unedited version of it. I figure if you've gotten 15 minutes in, or 12 minutes into this video and you just want to see the beautiful shot, you can. If you want to move away, you can as well. So, because I thought you could pretty much end it right before that, but I thought this was so cool. So that's Denise. There's our dive master again. So I'm starting to run low on air, and so I'm letting Liz know that I'm probably going to go up pretty soon. That's why I've actually shallowed up here. So I'm at the top of the boat because on its side. So it's much shallower where I am. And so if people don't know, the deeper you go, the less air you have in your tank, because pressure every 33 feet squishes it that much more. So I don't know if people remember their physics, but for every 33 feet, you lose an atmosphere of pressure. So an extra atmosphere is pushing down on that air. So every breath you take is actually more air because it's squished down. So that same air at the surface has expanded and it's a lot more air. But when you're doing it at 33, it's less. And then at 66, it's even less than that. And then 99 and same. So by shallowing up a little bit, you actually increase your bottom time because you have more air in your tank. And I had actually used a lot of air on this dive because I was doing a lot of buoyancy stuff, and a lot of stuff from inside the boat got cut because I shot over 30 minutes inside the boat, and I ended up using about 3 or 4 minutes, just the best moments kind of thing, and sort of told its story that way. We were sort of enjoying our stuff, and you can see Tommy is down there right now. And then Liz and I are gonna do something that my parents have always done underwater, which is kiss each other underwater. So. It's hard to frame that. Love looking at the surface of the ocean with the light through it when you're like 33 feet away. It just looks so cool in the distance. It almost looks like glass. It's very cool. So I do a very interesting thing when I'm diving. I guess I've never really talked about this before, but I can go back and I can show what I'm doing here. So most people breathe in and out through the regulator. So the regulator is this circular thing that you can see right here, right? I breathe in from that, but I actually breathe out through my nose very, very slowly. And what that does is it puts pressure into my mask and it pushes water out of the mask if water has gone in. And it helps you equalize your system too. So that's how I've always done it. So that's why you'll see bubbles faintly coming out of my mask while I'm diving. because I naturally can hold my breath for a very, very long time. I can go a whole length of a pool underwater on one breath. So as a way to constantly remind myself I need to keep breathing, because I naturally would not, and it's not good for you to go up and down underwater without breathing, because obviously your lungs will expand and contract, and there's some other issues as well. So that's why I'm always constantly breathing out through my nose very slowly, so that way I eventually get out of breath and I take a breath back in. So that's why it looks a little bit different from my mask than all the other people that you're looking at. See the whole ship from the. I'm getting closer to the surface, and I'm actually surfacing before everyone else. Usually, I have more air than everyone else, but I used a lot of it on this dive. I also had some trouble getting down. I had equipment issues. I didn't talk about this. The camera actually was completely fogged up, and then didn't even turn on, and so I actually surfaced. Took the whole thing apart, put it back together, and jumped back and went back underwater again. I did it all in 5 minutes. I didn't really miss much of the dive, but obviously it used a lot of air up to go back to the surface and to clear everything. So that's another reason why I was one of the first to service. I mean, I still put together over 50-minute dives. So it's still, the range usually is 40 minutes to an hour. So it's still well within the range, but just explain why I'm going up right now. But it also gave an opportunity for me to show a cool perspective where you can see the ship in the distance and all of the other divers in my family in the middle ground. And it was great. We did this on New Year's earlier on. I didn't point this out at the time, but when we were in the ship way back here, there it was. You can see it actually says Happy New Year. I think I got a better shot of it in a second. Let me see. I know it's before that. Let me go back a little bit. There you go. So you can see that it was New Year's Day, and so I mean this is just dirt on the side, and I think the dive master just wrote in the dirt on the ship, Happy New Year. So it was New Year's Day. We've never actually dove on New Year's Day. Usually we are leaving Grand Cayman then, but the way that the schedule was this year, we were actually able to leave a little bit later. And so because of that, also there was nobody else on our boat. So we basically had a private dive boat. I think either there was one other couple or no other couples on our boat. So it was really cool to be able to talk to them and be able to pick our dive sites and stuff like that, because obviously sometimes you have to go where other people want to go. So that was really cool as well. So let me go back to where we were, which was about here. That's the small dive boat that we were on for this one. They have a couple different size dive boats. See real quickly. I'm gonna take this audio and I just want to see what I was showing with the gauge. Just trying to see if there's anything important in there. So I was at 14 feet at that moment. The dive time was 51 minutes. I was correct. It was about a 50-minute dive. And my max depth was 69 feet. Nice. Yeah, I guess I can keep that in there. Alright, I think that the video is looking pretty good. Let me pull in some titles from a previous video. We'll use that as part of this. So, by the way, the USS Kittiwake was a former U.S. Navy submarine rescue vessel. It launched in 1945 and was commissioned in 1946, and it served for 50 years almost, till 1994. And it assisted on the Challenger space shuttle recovery, and then they sunk it on January 5th, 2011. Now serves as a popular artificial reef and wreck site off of 7 Mile Beach in Grand Cayman. So just if people want to know a little bit more about this ship. So this is the USS Kittiwake, filmed and edited by Robbie. Alright, so the first song here. Let me go grab all of the reveal in browser. We're going to reveal in Finder. I'm going to grab all of the metadata from this. Alright, so this one is called Aurora. It's from the Aurora album as well, so it's the name track. So we'll put that one there. Dan Tremblay, all of that information is correct. And then, oops. I'm putting this over here. Alright, so this one I'm going to put it as, I'm just editing the text right here real quick. This is part 9. Is that right? I'm just double checking to make sure that I have the parts set up correctly. Yeah, so that is part 8 there. So this is part 9. So I'm just checking a couple other things real fast. I was curious when I did the other video. Wow. In 2023, it was also part 9. So people don't know, 9 is my lucky number. And it's crazy that 2 times in a row that we have a Kittiwake video, it's both part 9. What was it the original time? So that was the second one we did. And then we also did... yeah, it was a part 3 on the other one. Got it. So in 22, we went for the first time. I used my old GoPro, and that video ended up getting almost 300 views. And then the one in 2023, that one ended up getting 1.3K views, which is the most views, I think, of any single dive of that series, and maybe of any scuba video I've done. It's not like a compilation video. All right, so I'm just making sure I have all the information put in there correctly. And so it's got a USS Kittiwake and also Liz Dive number 100. Actually, I wonder, I'm thinking about doing it a little bit different. Let's do it this way. I'm going to put this title here. Alright. Let me see how these titles look real quickly. I'm going to let it render for a second. So the Orioles are leading the Blue Jays in the middle of the third inning, and it's 2-1 in that game. We're still doing spring training. It's cool that one of the DMV teams is playing right now while we're talking. We had a great episode on Monday of Sports on the Hill podcast. We celebrated 10 years of the podcast. So it's been quite a run. And so we had Carol coming back, our original co-host. Gil, Anna, and C4 all joined us as well. And they talked hockey with us. In the second hour, we had Sith and Champ join us. We talked wrestling, joining C4 and myself. And then Tim came on to talk about the World Baseball Classic. Unfortunately, the United States lost last night in the championship to Venezuela, who really wanted it. And I think for a lot of reasons, but obviously going in and stealing the president probably give them a little extra motivation for Venezuela. So Venezuela did win the championship in the World Baseball Classic yesterday, but we talked about it, and we talked about Venezuela beating Italy live when that was happening, as well as Monday Night Raw live. And then Arun, Tim, and myself went through the bracket for March Madness, and then we had Carol, again, our original co-host of Sports on the Hill podcast, come back and tell us what he's been up to as well. So lots of great guests. I'm excited that we got to celebrate 10 years of the podcast, and this upcoming Monday it will be the season finale of season 10. And then we'll take 2 weeks off. I'm going to go to Texas for a week, and then going to Mexico for a week, and then I will come back and we'll start season 11 and talk about the DC Defenders, who are trying to repeat as champions, defend their title. We'll also talk about baseball, no longer being in preseason, but the actual regular season starting soon. And we'll continue to talk hockey and basketball and other sports and wrestling too. Big news is Cole Hudson tonight for the Capitals will make his debut. He's 19 years old. He's the first Capital to play alongside Ovechkin that wasn't born when Alexander Ovechkin started as a Capital. And in fact, and we're talking about 10 years of Sports on the Hill podcast, when I started the show, this kid who's debuting for the Caps tonight wasn't even 10 years old yet. So just some wild stuff there. So yeah, let's play some of these title cards and see how they look. Alright, so that was a little too long. I need to come out a little bit quicker than that. Let's try this. Alright, we're going to try again. Let me let it render. So now we're working on title cards because the video itself is, I think, in a pretty good place. Unless anybody else has any thoughts or changes, but it seemed to fit the timing well. We're under 15 minutes, which is great. And yeah. Alright, I think we're still rendering here. Let that render a little bit. We've got Neville, the mascot of the channel, here. Also got a sneezing Lily over there. Got all the animals out today. Hopefully you guys are all having a great Wednesday. So again, this is going to be our last daytime stream for a little while. This is episode 7 of our Wednesday edit series and episode 10 of our daytime streams for this calendar year in 2026. Unlike the podcast, I start our seasons at the beginning of the calendar year for our daytime streams. Last year was our first year doing daytime streams. This is now second season doing that. And just showing Neville a little bit while we're rendering. A little bit more centered there. So hopefully you guys are all doing well. All right, we should be good now with the render. All right, let's check this out one more time. Hold on. That was weird. Let's try it again. That looked good. All right, let's get these song title cards. We're gonna just copy and paste it into the other places, and then I really like that dramatic shot. So I'm not gonna put a title card over that part, but we are gonna do it over here. So reveal in browser. I'm gonna grab the metadata real quickly from this, so that way we can get. So this one's again called Phantom Trail. Render for a second. There's a Pokemon in chat while we're rendering. A wild Espurr. I haven't caught any Pokemon today. Let me see if I can get one really quickly. I'm going to use my phone over here. It's an Espurr. So, I've been playing a lot of Pokopia lately. It's been really fun. Kind of like Minecraft and Animal Crossing meet Pokemon. So, yeah. End of the third inning, Orioles are still leading the Blue Jays 2-1 in their game. All right, looks like it's rendered. It's still just finishing. Alright, we're rendered. Alright, I'm going to rewind a little bit and see how it flows into this next title card. Longer. No, I caught the Pokemon. Cool. And we'll let that render for another second. Alright, we're almost done. Thought I'd do the Neville command. I don't know why Lily doesn't have a command. She should. I thought that she did. I'm making a quick command real quickly. Yep. You can come in. Okay. Let's do one more thing. And then... Right now there's a Lily command. Alright. Cool. Alright. Oh, I forgot when you type in Lily, it does a cool little... So the Lily command didn't actually do a text command before. It just did... oh, the Orioles just scored. They're up now 3-1. But whenever you type it in, a Lily in a Caps jersey appears randomly somewhere on the screen. And you can do it multiple times. See? Anyway. Cool. Well, now we've got the animated graphic and the text to describe it. It's both there. All right, we're back to here. View, playback, full screen. Alrighty, that looks good. All right, we're gonna do one more here. Reveal on browser, reveal on Finder, grab the metadata of this. I always like to grab the metadata so that way there's no spelling issues. It's how the original composer wanted it to be spelled and all the text. It's always safer to go that way. People are wondering why I do it that way. All right, so that's one, and then I'm just going to go ahead and balloon in here. I have the right time of when to do it. I really like this part not to have the text over it. Let me try that. I'm gonna let that all render. Give it a second. I'll bring up the menu so you can see. Is that even display when I do that? Nope, you don't even see that. Alright. Interesting. Huh. Anyway. We're 30% done. Alright, we got 40% done. Just rendering these graphics real quick, and then we'll take a look at them, and then I'll see how much time we got left to see if we have time to make the reel today, or we may just read out as well. But yeah. So again, the Caps play tonight. If people are interested in the Cole Hudson debut of that, the Wizards have continued to not do very well. They're kind of trying to lose out at this point to get to save their draft pick because it's a protected draft pick. Yeah. If anybody wants to join our March Madness thing, you can find the link on our Facebook, facebook.com/sportsothp, and you can join us. It's only open for a little bit longer, I want to say. So let me see if it's even closed already. Yes. Okay. So it's open for about 24 more hours. So tomorrow at noon it locks up. So yeah. So if you want to compete with us, you can join us. We got Sith, my dad, got Champ, myself, EJ, and my father-in-law Tommy, all competing. It's free to do if you want to join us. If you care about March Madness, go for it. So, all right, we've got the render is ready. Let's take a look at these two scenes, and then we should be good to go. Let me try this one first. Just fixing this one little part that I noticed. %24 of people have picked Duke to be their champions in the ESPN Tournament Bracket Challenge. I also picked Duke. I hate Duke, but I just I don't know. All right, here we go. I realized there is another line on there that you guys can't see. There's 3 lines, and that's twitch.tv/Dan Tremblay Music and his link tree as well. That's much better. Let's try this side now. So we're running again. was reading some breaking news. So, we covered the Olympics on episodes 401 through 403. And Jack Hughes won gold for Team USA. And he has been requesting that puck be returned to him. So in the NHL, when you score a milestone goal, it's the puck is yours to have. When it's in the Olympics, unfortunately for these players, it's actually part of the Olympics owns that puck, not the NHL or the person who scored it. And so they actually keep it at the Hockey Hall of Fame to preserve it for history for people to see over time. But he's really upset. He really wanted to give the puck to his dad, who was also a famous hockey player. So that, even though he really wants it, he's probably not going to get it, which I think is really interesting. So, yeah. All right. So I think it's starting to come together. It's looking pretty good. If anybody has any final questions for me before we end the stream, I can answer them. I'm also trying to think here what I want to do for the vertical reel. It's really tough when it's a ship, because when it's like a fish, you can just sort of do like a highlight reel of fish to put in on Instagram to showcase what this video is. It's really kind of hard to sum up this video, which is 15 minutes in length, into 1 to 2 minutes. So that's kind of a little bit of the struggle. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do for the reel for this, because it's only vertical parts and it's got to be relatively short and interesting. I really like this shot with the porthole and stuff, so maybe that might make it. I like this shot here with the pair of French angelfish. It's hard because a lot of these shots you lose something when it goes to strictly vertical. And then obviously I really liked some of these shots. Including this one here. But again, I grabbed that one part to show. And I really like this long shot that we were using. There's definitely some cool moments in here. I don't know. It's a tough one. I'm gonna have to probably think about that and figure it out. I'm pretty happy with how the 15-minute video has come along. So the plan is, I'll take one last look at it and make sure everything is exactly the way I want, but to render it tonight and release it tomorrow, and then have it linked to the other 2 videos from the Kittiwake in time, and have that playlist exist both on my main channel but also on the main page of the Scuba channel as well. And yeah, I think that is gonna be nearly it. Gonna take a look to see if there's anybody that I want to raid or anything like that. My friend Sarah Cameron Music is on. Her stream is starting soon, which is good. Maybe we join her. There's also Cliff Stallings, who I also mod for, who's doing Dead by Daylight stream. And we will see. Who do we want to rate today? Sarah's just starting, so I feel like it's a pretty good shout there. Let's hold on. I want to take this. I'm going to make a new project, new event. Oh, sorry, not a new event. Sorry, new project inside of this event, and we're going to call it reel for day 6 dive 1 was 100. And I'm going to grab a couple of these scenes that I like. So this has always been one that I really like. Alright, we're going to go back over here. Just grabbing different scenes that I like. I really liked what we did with this one. I know we used parts of it for a story, but that's on YouTube, so definitely people on Instagram may never even see that. So that's another scene that's a good one. So that was this one, right? 604. And this is 605. So here we go. This way, we're going to click that. I don't need any of this footage. Should leave there. We're going to get rid of all that. Alright, so then over here, kind of like this ending part right here where it goes off and you can sort of see all the different fish. I don't think we need the rest of the lead up. I mean, this part is kind of cool. Let me see here. This to that, and I'm going to take these two away. Alright, so this first shot is here. The second shot, we're going to expand it a little bit there. And then this shot here. We're also going to expand it and zoom in a little bit there. I really love this opening shot here, so I wonder if I can grab an element of this. So I got 37 seconds there. Alright, we're going to go back over here and see if there's other scenes that I want to include. I think I'm going to grab this. I'm not sure if I'm going to use it, but we're going to just grab it. We're going to also grab this scene that I liked. Hard. I like all the stuff inside the rack, but I just don't know how much to include. And grab the Happy New Year shot as well. All right. Well, I've got now 3 minutes of footage to then try to narrow down to about a minute and a half and see which best moments we have. And the actual video, I always try to do in timeline order, and but for the reels, sometimes I'll do like a best of supercut, so it might not be the exact order that it happened in reality, but just something to catch people's attention and their eye. And I put that reel out there. I always do it to the first song, so in this case it's Aurora. Um, so I'll put that audio track in here as well. I also just so I always put the song and then the dive number on there as well. So I'll just grab these two in addition and add that in as well. And welcome on in, Arun. We were talking about how we were all doing March Madness on Monday a little while ago. So thank you for tuning in. Arun's part of our roundtable talking basketball and football and all sorts of different other sports as well. Arun and I have known each other for, man, over 25 years, probably. So, a long time. So, yeah. Okay, with that, I think we're about to raid out in a second. I was just trying to get this this set up so that way it was ready to be edited a little bit later. So just expanding these timelines, as you can see right here, we have a lot more height that we weren't using when we were shooting it as a horizontal. And then this is the Happy New Year, and so I might move that around a little bit to get it in focus and in shot a little bit better. So I'll work on that a little bit later. So that'll be part of my plan to work on that tomorrow offline and hopefully release that reel. The goal is on Friday, if not Friday, maybe sometime this weekend. And yeah, thank you guys for being a part of this Kittiwake video edit. It's about 15 minutes long. It should be rendered and released tomorrow. I tend to do it at 11 o'clock on the channel. It's 11 a.m. on Gross Scuba. If you haven't followed that channel yet, please do so. It's youtube.com/ and the @ Gross Scuba, or if you search Gross Scuba, you can find it there too. So, Kittiwake video is coming next week. The reel is on IG, which the IG is the same name as my own. You can see all of our social medias here. But Instagram.com/ RobbieG_sports_OTHP, same name as it is live here on Twitch. And you can always catch the reel there. So we'll do the dive video Friday, dive video Thursday on the Scuba channel, the reel on Friday. We're also planning to do another short on Friday, hopefully, as well. So I'll try to find another cool moment to release and link back. And then next week we'll be doing, if all goes according to plan, while I'm away, I'm bringing my laptop with me. We'll be doing a edit of the video for the last dive that we did of the trip. So I'll be editing that and releasing that. That'll be a shorter video. And then the week after that, I hope to release a best of video. Not a best of video. It's a bonus video. So there was 2 dives I didn't get to go on because I wasn't feeling well. Liz was able to shoot them for me, and so I'll actually edit those together as kind of a bonus video, so something that I missed, but I thought we could still share it with us. Ooh, an earthworm. That's a cool Pokemon. I can try to catch that. Welcome on in, Tina. We are about to raid out. I hope that you are doing well, Tina and Arun. All right. So with all that being said, the week after, as I was saying, will be the bonus video. So this week is the long form, like big story one. Next one's gonna be a shorter one. It'll be about a turtle and sort of a very current heavy focused dive, the last dive of our trip, number 11, and then I'll go back and showcase the 2 dives I didn't do, and then I'll actually be in Mexico filming the next dive series, and then I was just trying to finish this one up before I go on that one, so the last video will be released actually the day that we fly out, so I'll pre-schedule all of that, and then I'll be able to clear off my machine and get everything ready, and we'll be shooting a lot of cool dive videos in Mexico. Yeah, I'm really excited. It'll be a night dive. There's an underwater museum there that I want to both snorkel and dive, and so I'll get some snorkel videos for my main channel as well. So go check out youtube.com/Robbie Gross if you want the podcast. We celebrate 10 years again on Monday. Go check out that 3-hour video. I did 2 concert videos this week. Liz, for her 40th birthday, we went to see 3 Days Grace, which she loves, and so I put those, took some reels of that, not reels, sorry, shorts of that, and put both of those on there. They both did very well. There's shorts on the Go Scuba channel. Go check out that one. Go check out my Instagram, Facebook, all of that. So lots of content coming out over the next month. Again, our season 10 finale episode, Sports on the Hill podcast, will be on Monday. I'm sure Arun and I will be talking about March Madness as we look ahead after the first 2 rounds are done, and we'll take a look at the round of the Sweet 16, because we'll have had the round of 64 and the round of 32, and we'll recap those, preview the Sweet 16 before we go on break, and then when we come back, we'll recap the championship game in March Madness. Next week, we're actually going to be recapping the championship game of the World Baseball Classic. We'll talk hockey, basketball, football, the March Madness. We're talking about the wrestling, so lots of stuff to talk about on the season finale, and then we'll be back with season 11 in the second week of April, right? The third week, I'm sorry. So we'll be back on, well, kind of second. It's the second Monday, so it's the 13th of April. So we'll recap all that we missed in hockey and preview the last week of the regular season for the NHL. It doesn't look like the Capitals are going to make it. I am excited for Cole Hudson's debut and to see how he does. If the Caps don't make the playoffs, we might start rooting for the Ducks to root on John Carlson for the playoffs. I also kind of like Buffalo, and they always get screwed over, so I'm kind of looking forward to them as well. All right, let me see if it looks like Sarah Cameron Music is now on screen. So we're going to raid her. And people can grab a raid command if they want for that. Again, come back Monday, 9 o'clock for the season finale. This will be the last daytime stream we do for a couple of weeks, unless I do a video game stream, but it's unlikely. But I'll be back to doing these probably on the 15th is what it looks like of April. Or maybe the 8th. Maybe the 8th, maybe the 15th. I'll see if I'm in the mood to do it right back after the trip. And grab one of those things if you want to know more about Sarah Cameron. Here we are. Cameron Music. And yeah, I hope that you guys all have a great weekend. Thank you for tuning in and being a part of this editing stream. Definitely, please check out the videos when they launch the scuba videos. I know that early people watching the whole thing, even if you could just put it on in the background and do something else, would be super helpful. Tell people if they're into scuba videos and that we're doing it. I hope that you guys all have a great rest of your day and weekend. We'll see you on Monday for another episode of Sports on Hill Podcast, episode 407. And yeah, talk to you guys soon. Thank you for tuning in and enjoy Sarah. Bye.